It's okay. Finally. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good today. How about you?
Mhm. I'm feeling good.
Oh, so
uh,
you mean do you have many breaks today?
um,
No?
let's see. No, I'm happy because I have maybe 30 minutes break later.
Oh, after my
Nine
class or later?
later at
Oh,
1900. Yeah,
uh-huh.
so I'm good. I have enough time to eat and to
Oh,
rest. I'm happy.
okay, it's great. How
Yes.
about yesterday? Was it okay? I mean, didn't any students cancel the class?
Well, thankfully, and not thankfully, that's a bad thing to say. There was a student who booked a class just for one day, just a one-day
Uh-huh.
class, but then she had to cancel the class, so I had 20 minutes, and then
Uh-huh.
I ate my food in 5 minutes.
Wow.
I completed my some of my feedbacks, and then I
Oh.
did some grammar corrections in just 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah, you're so
Yes.
quick.
Superwoman. Yes. What about you, Elia? Do you have anything planned for today since it's Friday?
Um, tomorrow, my my husband and kids are going to watch a
Mm-mm.
musical in the afternoon, and
Mm-mm.
after watching it, we are going to see my parents because
Mm-mm.
uh, yeah, my mother said she needs us because she will do kimjang. Have you ever
Ah,
kimjang? Yeah.
well, I've heard a bit about it. Is this the tradition of making kimchi with your mother?
Uh,
No,
Tradition
sorry.
just in the winter there are no it is hard to buy Chinese cabbages. So
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
kimchi is made of Chinese cabbages.
Yes.
So if we can't buy it, it's hard to eat kimchi. So that's why most Koreans make kimchi
Mm.
before the winter starts. So
Mm.
especially most people prepare for kimjang prepare
Mm-mm.
kimjang in the winter, I mean in December.
Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I see. Okay, okay. How many, because you'd have to be preparing a lot because winter season is quite long in Korea,
Mm.
if I'm not mistaken. So, how many Chinese cabbages do you need for the whole stock?
Actually, I'm not. I don't know well because I usually didn't help my mom.
Mm.
I live far away from
Mm-mm.
my parents,
Mm-mm.
so whenever my mother did kimjang,
Mm-mm.
I didn't go. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
and so maybe. I heard, yeah, she said I bought 50 or 40 Chinese cabbages, but I didn't, yeah, keep in mind that because it's not that important to me how many
Mm-mm.
Chinese
Yes.
cabbages she bought. So I just wanted her to give me some, yeah, kimchi. So.
Okay, but aren't you worried that in the future you and your daughter would have to prepare this together
No,
for winter?
actually, nowadays most people are busy, and many
Mm-mm.
people buy kimchi on the internet. So
Mm-mm.
in the past, there are not that many kimchi companies, but many people don't want to make kimchi by
Mm-mm.
themselves. So
Mm-mm.
kimchi companies are really hot. They make a
Mm-mm.
lot of money because many people
Yes.
don't want to do um, some troublesome
Yes.
work. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, if my mother are not, if my mother are no longer how can I say, if my mother no longer makes kimchi anymore, then yeah, I will buy kimchi, yeah, on the internet from a kimchi
Mm.
company.
Oh, but let's hope that that doesn't happen very soon. I
Yeah.
really wish your mother a long and healthy life. How old is she, by the way?
She's, I don't remember her age, because
Come on, Elia.
no, there is a good reason. Because my father was in the military. He was in the Air Force.
Mm-mm.
But he was, I mean, when he became a soldier, he was
Mm-mm.
too young compared to
Mm-mm.
his coworkers. So
Mm-mm.
in the military, age was really important. Um,
Mm-mm.
in that, yeah, in my father's generation. So
Mm-mm.
if people knew that my father was too young, then they look
Mm-mm.
down on him. They would look down on him. So that's why
Yeah.
he deceived the people. Like he was 2 years older than his actual age. So
Oh.
after my mother got married to my father, she also deceived her age. So yeah, we are really confused when someone asked my parents' age, because we
Yes.
had to answer their first wrong age, because
Yes.
people, yeah, would if people know my father's real age, then they would be in trouble. They would get in trouble.
Mm-mm.
So their real age and false age are mixed
Mm-mm.
up in my head. So I was
Mm-mm.
really confused when someone asked, yeah,
Yes.
about my parents' age. That's the
It's
reason.
very confusing indeed. But it's
Yeah.
unique in a way. Like they both spent most of their married life deceiving other people about their real age. It's cute. It's cute. But speaking of age, my father and mother, I don't know if I've told you this, but they were 20 years apart. They had a 20-year
Oh.
age gap. Yes.
My.
Yes, very, very huge age gap. My mother carried me, she gave birth to me when she was 33, I
Uh-huh.
think. My
Oh.
father was 53 at that time.
Oh. Oh. Do you mind if I ask, your father got married to your mother for the first time of his
Oh, no,
life, in his
no,
life?
no.
No.
Actually, both of them already had kids from a previous marriage.
Ah,
My
right.
father had one daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
my mother had four children.
Wow.
Back in those days, people were very active.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh,
know what I mean?
what do you mean?
uh, they were very active, so they had a
Uh,
lot of kids.
uh-huh. Okay. So, do you live with your siblings?
Oh, no, no, no. But I
Oh.
do get to see them once, maybe once or twice a year.
Uh,
Yes?
I mean, when I was young, did you
Mm.
live with your siblings?
No. I lived with both my parents. We were in Papua New Guinea
Uh-huh.
that time. So until I was 14, I lived only with my parents.
Oh.
I did not get to stay with my half siblings. Yes.
Oh, then where did they live? They couldn't live with their parents then. Who took care of them?
My aunt from my mother's side took
Oh.
care of my siblings from my mother. My
Oh.
sibling from my father, however, she grew up in Australia.
Uh-huh.
and her mom took care of her. But
Uh-huh.
eventually my mother and my father's ex-wife became best friends.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
whenever my mother and father would quarrel or they'd have an argument,
Mm-hmm.
my mother and my father's ex-wife would meet in a club.
Mm-hmm.
We'd eat some food together, and then they would gossip about him.
Mm.
Strange. Anyway,
Yeah.
oh, I never got to ask you, Elia, do you have siblings of your own?
Yeah, I have two siblings. Brother, my elder brother and elder sister. I'm the youngest in my family.
What's it like being the youngest?
Mm, it's not that good.
Why? Can you tell me why?
Because my brother was the eldest in my family, and in the past, yeah, most parents um, prefer um, sons to girls. So
Mm,
if I was so I have a 5 years age gap with
mm-mm,
my brother. So
mm-mm,
even I was 8 or 9 years old when my mother was
mm-mm,
out. She asked me to serve my brother's lunch. So I thought it was really unfair because he was older than me. I think he was the one who had to serve my lunch. But
mm-mm,
because the reason I'm a girl, so that's why I had to take care of his lunch. So at that time, I didn't eat lunch whenever my mother was out because I didn't want to, I didn't want to, what's that word, attend my brother. So, and
mm-mm,
another thing I think it was really unfair was
mm,
when my parents was out, my mother
mm-mm,
always asked my sister and me to
mm-mm,
clean
mm-mm,
clean our apartment. And my
mm-mm,
brother was lying on the couch, and
mm-mm.
while we were cleaning the whole apartment. Yeah, so it was really, yeah, annoying.
Very bothersome indeed.
Yeah, but so I thought if I was older than him, I would I would ask him to do something, or
Mm-mm,
if I did couldn't, yeah, because of my mom, if I couldn't ask him to do something, but since I was older than him, I could be more generous.
mm-mm.
So, but anyway,
Did you ever?
uh-huh, and
Sorry.
yeah,
Yeah, continue,
no, no,
continue.
no, it's
Oh,
okay.
did you ever wish you were born a boy, Elio?
Not that much. But
Mm-mm,
but I couldn't understand my parents. I didn't wish I want to be or I want to be born as a boy. But
mm-mm.
yeah. But anyway,
Okay.
my now my mother has changed a lot, so
Mm-mm,
she doesn't discriminate
mm-mm,
her grand child. I mean,
mm-mm.
whether they are girls or yeah boys.
Yes, of course. We're in a very new generation now. She would understand. But, based on your story and from my experience, I really do disagree with the saying that younger sibling or the youngest sibling in the family has it easier, like she's the favorite in the family. I
Mm-hmm.
disagree with that. Do you?
Mm. It depends on parents.
Yes, yes.
Because I
Okay.
have two kids, and I really like my daughter. Oh, she is so adorable, but it's not the reason that she is young. I mean, the reason because she is young. I don't prefer her because she is younger than my son. But I don't
Mm-mm.
know why she acts so adorably. But everything she does makes me really happy.
Yes. Do you have sometimes, do you find yourself having a favorite or picking a favorite between the two?
Yeah, absolutely my daughter.
Mm, I'm hurt. I feel sorry for your other child.
Yeah, but most mother pre l- most mother like their younger kid because
Mm,
they spend a lot of time with the younger one. So except for mother,
mm-mm,
grandparents or
mm-mm,
um,
mm-mm,
fathers, a father
mm-mm.
like their first child more. So it's the
Oh,
statistics.
mm-mm. Oh, you seem to know a lot. Where did you find that out? Oh, yes, you do know it because you're a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder though in the future if I do get to have my own children, I really hope I don't pick sides because I know what it feels like. It hurts a
Mm.
lot to not
Mm-hmm.
be the favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. Oh, anyway, Elia, we shall continue with our lesson. And we are talking about
GMO.
GMOs, the topic that you dread, the topic you don't like to talk about. Okay, this is just a very simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really believe that GMOs are harmful to the body?
Yeah, I believe it.
Mm-mm.
But don't you think like that way?
I do. I do. I just, it hasn't really been proven, but I did watch a documentary
Mm-hmm.
and they used lab rats. I feel sorry for those lab rats. Anyway,
What? What
lab
did they
rats,
use?
um, genetically modified food.
Mm-hmm.
And these, for example, corn. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
corn had been sprayed with chemicals before it fully matured, so it grew to be look very healthy and very full. Okay, in full
Mm-hmm.
bloom. They fed those to the rats, and then they started developing tumors in their mammary glands for women here in our breasts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's very dangerous too for people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I've
Mm-mm.
read about GMO, and yeah, it
Mm-mm.
explained a lot of things. And
Mm-mm.
anyway, after I read it, I concluded, yeah, I never eat any food with the GMO. But yeah, it's impossible if I live in Korea because I can't make all food uh, that I will eat. So I
Yes.
have to eat out from time to
Mm-mm.
time, and I also buy
Mm-mm.
some food
Mm-mm.
from some stores. But yeah, they
Mm-mm.
usually use uh, the gradient
Ingredients.
ingredients, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Ingredients
Okay. Okay.
with the
Mm-mm.
GMO. So
Mm-mm.
but I try to avoid buying any food with the
Mm-mm.
GMO.
Okay. But unfortunately, like you said, it's impossible, almost impossible nowadays.
Yeah, but the problem is our government.
Mm-mm.
Other countries' government prohibited um, GMO products
Mm-mm.
yeah, to be imported. But our country actually, the previous president allowed the a certain how can I say it business or company, yeah, certain
Mm-mm.
companies to
Mm-mm.
import GMOs. So uh,
Mm-mm.
yeah, so that's why a lot of GMO products are yeah
Mm-mm.
GMOs are imported in our country.
Mm-mm. Even here too. Even
Uh-huh.
here too. In
Yeah.
fact, we get a lot of Chinese products,
Mm-hmm.
Chinese food that are sometimes contaminated. We get plastic rice or styrofoam rice,
Mm-hmm.
plastic eggs
But
from
it's
China.
impossible to eat them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they have a way of developing it to taste
Oh,
and look like real eggs, but anyway, you can see that on YouTube.
uh-huh.
Try looking for videos with the woman. Anyway, plastic eggs that are being cooked.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Anyway, um, so lesson 15. Do you have any questions about some sentences?
So uh, let me check how he's doing. So,
Mm-mm-mm.
a nurse check a patient. When a nurse check a patient, then she or he can say it. Let me check how he's doing.
Yes, yes. A nurse
Uh,
can say it,
so, is it
but
also possible to say, let me check how he is?
let me check how he is.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yes, it's grammatically correct. Okay, but it's more common to say doing at the end. Let me check
Okay.
how he is doing, or but let me check how he is also it's very common to use, but it's better to say doing.
So, how he
Um,
is doing? If we say how he is doing, it means check his condition, whether he has
yes.
a fever or yeah. Okay.
Mm-mm. Or not just fever, for
Mhm.
anything. Let's
Yeah.
say,
Anything.
yes, let's say someone is um, emotionally hurt by a breakup, and you
Mhm.
want to check on that person. Let me check how he is doing, how
Mm.
he's coping.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Any more?
Yeah. That's all.
Okay, okay. Oh, and just additional information in case you haven't, you don't know it yet. Take a seat
Uh
can
huh.
also be used with have a seat. You can say have a seat.
Mhm.
Okay, have a seat.
Okay.
Yes, that's all. Okay, let's go straight to the questions.
Okay.
Letter F, number one. Please read. Ooh.
Okay. Some people think that doctors in general charge too much. Do you agree with this? Why or why not? Yeah, since most doctors are rich, because
Mm-mm-mm.
they make a lot of money, it means they charge a lot of money on yeah
Mm-mm.
patients. So
Mm-mm.
I agree
Mm-mm.
with this, and
Mm-mm.
yeah, but in Korea, we have a good insurance, health insurance. That's
Mm-mm.
why compare. That's why people can go to the doctor's clinic or hospital when they are sick. But
Mm-mm.
I heard in the US, there are so many people who yeah die because they can't go to the hospital. So I think
Yes.
yeah it is Korea Korea, um, doctors in Korea can't charge too much on patients because of
Mm-mm.
a certain regulation from the
Mm-mm.
government.
Oh, okay, okay. You're right. I think Korea has a very good medical insurance system.
Mhm.
In the Philippines, though, it's not. I'll tell you something.
Mhm.
Um, 2015, I had to undergo a surgery for both of my eyes
Mhm.
to stop it from going blind because of my eye condition.
Mhm.
And the only center, medical center here was in Manila that offered that specific kind of surgery for my eye condition. And they required me to pay 100,000 pesos. That's a lot.
How
But
much is
then
it
when,
in dollar?
okay, okay, let's try to see. Give me a moment. 100,000 pesos to US dollars.
Mhm.
That would be a thou. Oh, are almost $2,000
Uh-huh. Okay.
in the US, or
Uh-huh.
1,900 something.
Uh-huh.
And but when I went to India after my surgery,
Mm-hmm.
the doctors there were actually very good. Okay, I mean, they studied in the US,
Mm-hmm.
and they said if you had undergone the surgery here, you would have paid only about 14,000, 15,000 pesos. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
15. Oh.
15,000 to,
Mm. Almost, yeah, 7. Uh,
yeah, that's only 284 US dollars.
uh-huh.
Can you imagine the difference?
Mm.
$2,000 and then 284.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they charge too much here.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. Number two.
How can I? 7 times. Oh, okay. I
Mm-mm.
wanted to say, that price is one 1/7 of, yeah, the cost
Mm-mm.
in the Philippines.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or that, yes, that's right. Or that price is 7 times more expensive than
Mm-hmm.
the cost in India.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, fractions. I'm bad with fractions, guys. I
Okay.
admit that. Okay, number two.
How is the medical service and healthcare in Korea? Have you ever had a problem with it? If so, tell me about it. If not, do you know anyone who did? Hmm, I didn't have had any problem. And yeah, I've read a lot of news articles. Yeah, there is a singer, a really famous singer, but after he had a surgery in a hospital, then he was sick.
Mm,
So that's why he uh, went to the hospital again, but they couldn't find the reason.
mm, mm,
So
mm, mm,
anyway, the doctor operated the surgery. I mean, the doctor didn't operate the surgery well, so he cut too much his stomach. So
mm,
that's the reason. But
mm,
they didn't know the exact reason, so
mm, mm,
they couldn't treat him properly. So
mm,
anyway,
mm,
he died in the
mm, mm.
end.
Oh
Since he
my.
was really famous, so they tried to sue the doctor, but
Mm,
I don't think it is a real. It can't cause a really big damage to him. So
mm,
maybe now, yeah, he would be difficult to run his hospital,
mm,
but
mm,
after some time, I
mm,
think
mm,
he will open another, yeah, clinic or hospital. So he didn't cancel his doctor license, even though, yeah, it was his real fault. But in Korea, yeah, it's yeah, impossible to blame some mistakes, some doctors' mistakes on, yeah,
mm.
doctors.
Yes, but I think, he should really have his license canceled.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not in Korea.
Did they do a lot of like deep investigation on that issue?
Yeah, yeah. Because he was a
Mm.
really famous singer. That's
Mm-mm-mm.
why if he was just an ordinary person,
Mm-mm-mm.
then yeah, it could not be a big issue. But it
Mm-mm-mm.
was a really big issue. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, the police investigated this incident. But
Mm-mm-mm.
anyway, so that's why, yeah, they found out it was the doctor's fault. But even
Mm-mm-mm.
though, yeah, he it didn't, yeah, cause that much trouble for him.
Mm-mm-mm. Okay, okay. Well, that's a sad story, but
Mm.
it's a sad reality. Even, in most countries, I think they try to cover up sometimes. cover up the
Yeah.
mistakes of medical practitioners. Okay, it's
Yeah.
not a fair system. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
Elia, okay, we'll just continue with number three on
Okay.
Monday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any more questions before we end?
No, I don't have any question. Have a great
Okay.
week.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy your weekend. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.